Internal Revenue Service IRS tax news. Proposed regulations address direct primary care arrangements and healthcare sharing ministry memberships. IR 2020-116, June 8, 2020, Washington. The Internal Revenue Service today released proposed regulations. There's a link to the proposed regulations here. There'll be a link to this in the description, addressing the treatment of certain medical care arrangements under Section 213 of the Internal Revenue Code. Section 213 of the code allows individuals to take an itemized deduction for expenses for medical care, including insurance for medical care, to the extent the expenses exceed 7.5% of the adjusted gross income. So that's the standard. We're thinking itemized deduction. So you get the standard deduction or the itemized deduction. If you get the itemized deduction, then you still have a restriction with regards to the medical expenses, typically being that 7.5% of the AGIs needs to be over that in order to start to benefit or allocate to the Schedule A itemized deductions. Back to the text. The proposed regulations address direct primary care DPC arrangements and healthcare sharing ministry HCSM memberships and provide the following guidance. Payments for DCP arrangements are expenses for medical care under Section 213 of the Code. Because these payments are for medical care, a health reimbursement arrangements, HRA provided by an employer generally may reimburse an employee for DPC arrangement payments. Payments for membership to a HCSM are expenses for medical care under Section 213 of the Code. Because these payments are for medical care, an HRA provided by an employer generally may reimburse an employee for HCSM membership payments. The proposed regulations respond to Executive Order 13877, which directs Secretary of the Treasury, to the extent consistent with law, to, quote, propose regulations to treat expenses related to certain types of arrangements, potentially including direct primary care arrangements and healthcare sharing ministries, as eligible medical expenses under Section 213D, end quote, of the Code.